Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of Golf Cart Garage. I am your host, Tim, if you didn't know that already. We come here twice a week and talk about everything golf carts. I work for Golf Cart Garage. I'm the tech guy for Golf Cart Garage. I'm also a member of the Gearheads on Demand service that we offer. If at the end of the episode I post a slide and it talks about the pricing tiers for different one-on-one consultations about your golf cart with myself, if you're interested in that. Or you can come here for free twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 noon Central Time. So if you're watching us on today, if you're watching us on Tuesday the 9th, and it's 12 noon Central Time, you're watching us live. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see, we already got people in the room. Gene, what's going on? 35 in Michigan. Helpless. Hey, Helpless. Says, good morning. It is currently 37 and very windy in Cabot, Arkansas. Helpless, did you look at the extended forecast? Check out Monday, like a week from yesterday. I'm sure you've already checked it out, but check out the extended forecast. We're in for a very cold Monday. Mike Irwin, 46 raining in southwestern Indiana. Jeffrey, hey Tim, 6 to 8 inches of snow, another 1 to 2 today, about 32, 50 by tonight. Degrees, 50 by tonight. So you're getting the snow. We got snow already here in Arkansas, yeah. In central Arkansas, we had snow last week. What was it, Friday morning? Last Friday morning. We got coverage and everything, but it wasn't very cold and it didn't last. We did get total coverage. Craig, anybody in Georgia is okay. They're having some nasty storms right now. Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff about tornadoes and stuff. What's going on, Craig? Rich Eastman, hello all. Helpless says he saw that extended forecast. Hope my chickens will survive the cold. Rock Dog, what's up? Yeah, I got some pictures too, Helpless. That was pretty wild. Because it was snowing hard. Over on Facebook, we got Kevin Rabbit. What's going on, Kevin? Hi, Tim. It's hoodie and shorts weather in South Texas. Man, it's past that here. 50 degrees and 40 mile an hour wind. See, right now it's very windy, as Helpless was saying, here in Arkansas. It is windy and we got some cold weather moving in. I think I'm just about to pass the hoodie and shorts. Might have to go with long pants, finally. Just raining in Athens, nothing severe in Athens, Georgia. Too cold, throw them in the skillet. Yeah, well, there you go. If it gets that cold, at least you're not going to go hungry. Big Mike, what's going on, man? 35 snowy and rainy here in northwest Indiana. Kurt says it's windy like crazy where he is, 60 degrees in Bradenton, Florida. I did, Jeffrey, I did get your email about the G29 service manual. Rich Eastman, put on your big boy pants. Yep. Yeah, you got to out there. That wind, it cut right through you today. And it's going to get, like I was talking to Helpless about, we're about to get some even colder weather here in central Arkansas. Sir Walter says there's some extreme weather coming to North Carolina later today and 60 mile an hour wind. What's up with the winds? I mean, it's windy everywhere across the United States. Oh, Kevin, what's going on, man? You're there with Big Mike, huh? Okay, this is actually, let me run those social media links before I forget. If you would like to follow us on other platforms besides YouTube and Facebook, you can. I'm running those links right now to TikTok and Instagram links. But please follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I think it would be less money to go that way, Jeff. Flash floods in North Carolina. Joe Foster, what's going on, Joe? Yeah, that's some crazy weather going on all over the U.S. Lynn Scrapper on Facebook. What's going on, Lynn? 35 and light rain with 10 inches of snow on the ground today. 10 inches in Orange County, New York. Okay, I ran the social media. We got some interesting questions to talk about today. The regular scheduled questions. I'm sure that we'll have some live stuff too. So let's get started with the regular questions since the garage is now open. Question number 1. This is from Timothy. Is it normal for the forward and reverse switch to get hot? It's a 2002 Club Car Carryall. Well, it depends on what you would mean by hot. Now, you got to think about it like this. Every one of those connections on a mechanical forward and reverse assembly, every one of those connections there is just as important as every one of the connections on your batteries, because all your amps go through the mechanical forward and reverse switch. All the amps that your batteries have right there, you think about, people seem to concentrate on their battery connections, more than they do that. They don't even think about their forward and reverse switch. It's the same amount of amps, it's the same amount of volts, it's the same connections. They're just as important. So if that's getting hot and it's not addressed, then if it's getting too hot and it's not addressed, you're going to end up with a problem there. You're going to end up with melting and heating and overheating, and your car won't run anymore because those copper contacts are going to degrade. They actually do degrade over time, and they'll get to the point where they won't even pass amps anymore. So it depends on what you mean by hot. Now, warm is normal. You're going to get warm because, like I said, all your amps go through that switch. So that's going to make it a little warm. But if you're getting hot to the point where you're worried about something melting, then you're going to have to address whatever the problem is. You have either a bad cable connected to it, or you've got a copper contact that is not making good connection. Loose cables, corroded cables, things like that can cause you some problems down the road. "15 degrees Saturday morning, instead of me sending you my factory manual, copying it and sending back. ATM, rainy and windy, and Rusty Brinkley." What's going on, Rusty? "Central Virginia, rainy and windy." Yeah, everybody's saying windy, including me. William Moore on Facebook. "Edenton, North Carolina stinks." Weather in Edenton stinks. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good anywhere, I don't think. Jeff Perkins. DJ Dizzy Jeff here from Kentucky. A nice balmy 51 and expected snow tonight. How's your day, sir? It's good, Jeff, except it's windy and cold. That's about it. Yeah, oh, you got wind too. See, everybody's mentioning wind today. That's what I was saying. What's up with the wind? I mean, I can hear, I don't know if y'all can hear that. That's my doors are getting blown around. The roll-up doors. Number 2. From Lance B. "Yamaha 3-pin charger cords have broken pins on the plugs. SB50 adapters were used to replace plugs, but the charger LED light doesn't show a connection. Should adapters work with black and white wiring only? Green wire eliminated. How to fix this?" Green wire eliminated. What do you mean by that? If your charger is not showing that it has a connection, then something is not connected. So I would have to ask, where did that green wire go? And you might have to put it back. You might not be able to eliminate it, or the charger's not recognizing the battery pack for some reason. But yes, on the black and white wire, yeah, SB50s could be used. If you needed to do that for some reason, that could be used. But I'd have questions about that green wire though first. Jeff Perkins says, 40 to 50 miles an hour, they say. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that. 20 to 40, Jeffrey's got 20 to 40. Jeff Perkins is asking, what is the tallest tires I can put on my Club Car DS without a lift? I have a 10-inch tires on it now. You mean you have 10-inch rims on it now, Jeff? Isn't that what you mean? You got 10-inch rims, not 10-inch tires. The rims are 10-inch. Your tires are probably about, if it's stock, they're probably about 18 inches. But you can, we get this question a lot at Golf Cart Garage. Your only choice after 18, the next step up is 20s, okay? That's 1 inch lower on the bottom and 1 inch taller on the top. That's the difference between 18s and 20s. So that would be the only thing you could try, because it's going to be a hit and miss kind of thing, because there's variables involved, like the condition of your springs. You know, it may or may not work, but that would be the only way you could do it, would be to try 20s and see if that's going to work. And it may not. That may not be. It may not happen. You might have to get a lift kit. They make, 3-inch lift kits. All right, we're going to look at number 3 on the regular questions. My door's getting blown in. This is from Marcelo T. I have a 2004 electric club car, 48 volt. Within the last week, when I plug the charger into the cart, it kicks on, but within a minute, the circuit breaker on the charger flips. Even if I reset the breaker, it trips again shortly after. Any suggestions on what could be causing this? Marcelo T. Let me give you a couple of reasons that can happen. All right. One way that can happen is with really, really dead batteries. Your charger comes on, it starts to charge, especially in a 2004. I know what the original charger was for a 2004. It was going to be a Club Car power drive with the circuit breaker on the front. If you try to charge a really dead battery pack and it's kind of hot, that may even exaggerate the problem, that circuit breaker might pop, and you might have to do it in stages. That's why I've said many times, put a fan on those chargers if you know you're charging really dead battery pack. That's one thing that can cause that to happen. So in order to alleviate that, try putting a fan on the charger and see if that changes anything. See if it makes it charge any length of time longer than it has been before it pops the circuit breaker. You may have to do your battery pack in stages until it gets up to a full charge. You may have to charge it for a little while, come back and charge it for a little while longer, and then when it gets to a full charge, it won't be as difficult for the charger to charge the battery pack, because it likes it to when it's almost fully charged. Now, if that circuit breaker is popping a lot, what I have found is that they seem to get weaker over time. So in other words, you may have to replace that circuit breaker too, because if it's constant popping on and off, it tends to get a little bit weaker. The more that happens. So you might ought to. They're not expensive. So if everything else checks out fine, then maybe replace that circuit breaker with a new one. And try it again. Jeff Perkins says, where can I get a 3-inch lift for my cart? Let's see, you said you had a DS, right? Go to a Golf Cart Garage and see what we have. See if you can find a Mad Jack's or a Jake's 3-inch lift kit for a Club Car DS at Golf Cart Garage. I'm pretty sure we have one. High lifters have all types to fit different size rims. Get of the LP, so you can stay with the same rims, just so you can adjust your PSI. Joe Foster, Tim, what is the wattage rating for a stock 2005 Easy-Go motor, 36 volt PDS? Tell me what it is you're trying. I really don't know the answer to your question specifically, but tell me what it is you're trying to do there, Joe. Same storm in South Carolina. Hey, Tim, Keith, and Chris from Palmetto, what's up? No power for the last couple of hours. Short visit today. Oh, man. Yeah, it's everybody's complaining of wind. Keith. Kurt's in a tornado watch, so if I lose, you see you Thursday. Okay, I hope so. Be careful. Stay safe, Kurt. Yeah, if my internet goes out because of all this wind, you know, it's very possible my internet could go out. So if y'all lose me, that's what happened. Okay. Oh, back to that number 3, this Marcello T. That would be a good scenario there that you have going on where putting that charger on another club car, 48-volt club car, and see if the same result happens. That would be a good time to do that also if you could. Randy Rizzo says, where exactly is GCG? I have a warehouse in Ohio, Randy. It's dead calm here, and we're in the middle of a winter storm. Big Mike. Craig says, the wife gave me a new steering wheel for Christmas. I put 3 drops of mouse milk on the shaft, and the wheel came right off. It was great. Well, you got lucky, because sometimes they're not that easy. No wind at all. That's Big Mike. If you got no wind at all, you must be in the eye. No generator back up there, Jeffrey. Jeff Perkins. Dave just posted some links for some of the options for Club Car DS lift kits at Golf Cart Garage. So if you want to take a look at that. Okay. 4. Number 4 is where we're at. This is from Scotty. My golf cart has been backfiring for the past 8 months and it's getting worse. Would you think getting a new carburetor would solve this issue? It is possible. It's possible that a new carburetor would. It just when is it backfiring would be what I'm saying. Is it backfire when you try to crank it up? Does it backfire when you start going down a hill? Because you know, you said it's getting worse. So anytime a car backfires like that, excessive fuel is getting put into the cylinder with no spark, and then as soon as you hit the gas pedal, it creates the spark, and boom, and it pops that fuel, that excessive fuel. So that means your butterfly valve is either staying open or somehow fuel is going into the cylinder with your foot off of the gas pedal. So something is out of adjustment, and it could be internal, it could be the butterfly valve, could be the float, the needle and seat is allowing gas to continue to flow. So if that's the case, then replacing the carburetor should fix the issue. But you also may be able to fix it yourself by just removing the carburetor and cleaning it out and checking your needle and seat and making sure that that float's closing all the way. Jeffrey Schmidt says, you have a warehouse in Ohio. We'll be doing a lot more business. I thought you were just out of Arkansas. No, the warehouse for Golf Cart Garage is in Ohio. Jeffrey says, Governor carb out of adjustment or clean carb. Yep, that's what we were talking about. If you didn't want to do that, you just wanted to get a new carburetor, see if that makes a difference, that'd be easy just to swap it out. But you, like I was saying, you may be able to fix it yourself. Okay, number 5. I believe that's where we're at, isn't it? Yeah, that's from Scotty, number 4. Okay, number 5. This is from Lester. I originally purchased and installed new shocks, and they seem like they are doing the job of handling the extra weight due to the rear seat. My only issue is now there is some noise coming from the shocks that is fairly annoying. I've looked over everything and verified everything is tight and properly installed, but I'm curious if this is a common issue with this product, SPN 0123. Is there any possibility that the original bolts are slightly different sizes, causing some movement in the upper mount? What do you think? I looked up the part you're talking about. I have not had any service calls or bulletins or heads up from customers or anything on that particular part. I would think that I would have heard something by now, because I'm sure we sell a lot of those. I haven't heard anything specifically about that, but I did look up your situation. So we're talking about a Yamaha here, and you put that shock on the heavy duty shock that comes with the coilovers. What we also sell, one thing I did notice is that you're thinking the movement might be coming from the top. Well, what about the bottom? It looks like to me that the bottom of that shock just sits in a cup. And if that's it, then you might be able to put something else in that cup if there's some space there, if there's a little bit of movement in the bottom of it. I was trying to figure out how I would figure out where the movement or where the noise is coming from. If there was some way that you could mount a camera under the cart and drive it and make the noise, and see if you could see where that shock is moving and where the noise is coming from, either top or bottom. Because if it's in that cup in the bottom, then like I said, you could just put something in there to take up the extra space if that was the case. I know that's not the greatest way to fix it, but I mean, that's just something where you can determine where the noise is coming from. Also, you could put your original shocks back on with the addition of heavy duty coilovers. In other words, you could remove the coilover on your original shock, and we sell a Jake's coilover at golfcartgarage.com, which is SKU, that's the SKU number. You just plug this number into the search bar. 96280, and that'll take you to the heavy duty springs that you could put on your existing shocks. That way you know that it was back the way that it was before, and see if that eliminates your noise or not. I try to figure out where it's coming from first, though, if it's top or bottom. Randy Rizzo, what kind of lift kit should I buy for a 2005 DS? I thought I could not get a drop axle. For a 2005 DS, I don't think you can get a drop axle for a DS. You got to get a drop spindle or an A-arm. Now, drop axles are, I think that's going to end up being just for easy goes. That would allow for that type of lift. Hit thumbs up for our favorite gear here. Thank you, Craig. Fish, what's going on, man? No, I've had this one. What I did is I had mine made. I just went to the hat guy and got the logos from my man Iman at Golf Cart Garage, and took the logo to the hat guy and gave him a couple of logos, and he made me a bunch of hats. And then everybody liked them so much, so Golf Cart Garage ordered a big box of them, from my hat guy. And this is just one of the original ones that I had put up, that I had made in the beginning. Who was it that had to put rubber between the spring and the shock to get rid of the same noise last week? Same problem. I don't remember that, Jeff. Are you sure? I don't remember that. Joe Foster, Tim was looking at Lithium upgrade, was wondering about the KW rating for the stock motor controller for a 2005. Well, you're not going to have to worry about that if all you're going to do is switch to Lithium, Joe. That's why I was saying I wanted to make sure I understood before I answered your question, or tried to answer your question. Your stock motor and stock controller is only going to pull so many amps. You switching to Lithium is not really going to change that at all. It's going to still be the same. Now, your car's going to feel like it is pulling more amps just because of the weight savings. But just switching to Lithium, you shouldn't have to worry about your motor or controller, your stock motor or controller, if that's all you're going to do is switch to Lithium. They start worrying about the KW rating and stuff when you start looking at those AC kits. When you start looking at the AC conversion stuff, that's where you have a choice on, and those motors are measured in KWs. Kilowatt rating. Mason Grove, what's going on, Mason? Back from ice fishing. William Rizzo from the Florida Keys. What's going on, William Rizzo? Clay Mathis, does a magnetic ring really increase speed? Windy as hell in Spring Hill, Florida. Magnetic ring, I think you must be talking about a speed sensor there, Clay. And I've heard people that have gotten they call it, they get a high-speed magnet, is what they call them a lot of times. And all it is a shaved magnet, which allows the motor to do a different RPM. I have heard some people say it works. I've heard some people tell me that they got some junk ones off of Amazon that were really, really cheap, and they didn't work. So, but I know for a fact there are some out there that do work. I've had customers tell me that they did. They clocked their car before, and then they clocked it afterwards, and it was a few miles an hour faster. Fish says, what year did Club Car get rid of the OBC? They got rid of the OBC around 2014. So if you have a 2014 Club Car, you may or may not have an OBC, because they never do things on January 1st, but it was in 2014. So you got to know if you got one if you have a 2014. Harry Fike, what's going on, Harry? 36-volt cart and 6 9-inch lift with 20-inch tires. Good idea or bad idea? Well, if the 36 volt is fine. I mean, so why would you think it would be a bad idea? Because you have completely stock electronics. Is that why you're asking? I mean, is everything completely stock, and not just your battery voltage, but your controller and your motor and all that stuff? Is that why you're asking? Because if it is, then I can tell you this: there are lots of cars out there with stock electronics with 20s on it. There's lots of them out there with 20s. So 20s is not that big a jump from 18s. Stock is 18, so 20s is. See, it's not the lift kit. It doesn't matter if you had a 12-inch lift kit. It matters how tall the tire you're putting on the car, because what you're doing is you're actually changing the gear ratio. When you put taller tires in the rear of a golf cart, you're changing the gear ratio so you don't have as much torque, so your electrical system is under a little bit more of a strain. I have seen people survive on 20s with stock electronics, and I've seen people that can't. It just depends on your application. If your application is not very rough, then I would say that's not a big deal. 20s on stock electronics. But if you're going to be pulling trailers and hauling hay or chasing wild hogs or something like that, it might not be a good idea without a few more upgrades. Helpless said he put a new speed sensor on his, and it went from an average of 14 to almost 18. So that's what I'm saying. I have had reports that say it's legit. I've never done it myself, but I've had customers tell me, and just like that, I heard some stories like that. See, William said he only gained 2, but he lost all region. Okay. Jeffrey got one from Amazon, and from Buggies, he sent the Buggies one back. See, it's kind of I get stories back and forth. It's a hit and miss kind of thing there, it seems like to me. Big Mike has 23s on the stock system, but you're talking about pretty much all asphalt stuff, aren't you, Big Mike? I mean, see, that's the least kind of resistance is asphalt. Kevin's got 23s, 14 is 6-inch lift, and he can run 21. Yeah, that's what I say. I think it just depends on your application. I mean, I would never, ever try to take a 36-volt PDS with 23s on it. I would never try to take that to the deer lease. I'd never do that. You won't make it out of the woods. But completely asphalt neighborhood kind of stuff, everything is, you'll probably be fine. She's a pavement princess for most part. Yeah. Let me check Facebook over here. Mark Folsom on Facebook. What's going on, Mark Folsom? Lost power half the night, blowing your skirt up now, and sunshine in Dayton, Texas. Yep, it is got some wind going on. Miles Tobin. Hi, Tim. I'm in to say hi. What's going on, Miles Tobin? I talked to Miles Tobin on the phone, I believe, if I remember right. Okay. Number 6. This is from Kieran. I guess is how you would say that. My car is a 2015 Yamaha Drive, and it needs a new drive clutch. But I'm wondering if there is a drive clutch that can provide more torque for uphills or pulling power. I've seen heavy-duty drive belts, but are there heavy-duty drive clutches? Well, that you can change the clutch spring. You know, you can change the clutch spring in either one of your clutches and try to get more torque out of it, you know, to help get more torque. You can change the spring in the rear, the driven clutch. You can change the spring in the drive. That's what most people do. I don't know of a new clutch you can buy for a golf cart that already has the heavy-duty spring in it, but that clutch tuning is a very fine art, so take it in small increments. I don't even think I'd mess with the drive clutch first. I would just change the spring in the driven clutch and see what that does for you. See if that does anything for you first. But yeah, that clutch tuning business is a real fine art to do that correctly. Rock Dog, see everyone later, work is calling. All right, Rock, thanks for stopping in, man. Number 7. This is from Denise. Hi, Tim. What could be some of the most common reasons for a starter generator belt to squeak when you start your car? I own a 2008 club car. Well, I've seen a bunch of them, and it's what I think Jeffrey and I talked about this. On a 2008 club car, you're probably running that Kawasaki FE290 or FE350s, and that starter belt has to be pretty tight, or that squeak will happen. Especially if the motor ends up stopping on the compression stroke. You might not understand what I'm talking about, but if there's a certain place the motor could die, and then when you come back on you try to hit the gas pedal to start it again, it's a real hard for the starter to turn it over because it's on the compression stroke, and it may slip inside the belt for a second or two before it turns the motor over, and then you'll get that belt squeak, and then the motor will start turning over and it'll crank up and go. So the only way that you can change that is you got to tighten the belt up just a little bit. Put a new belt and tighten it up, but it's difficult to get that belt to the right tension. It has to be a little tighter than you want it to be. Number 8 is where we're at on the regular questions. This is from Miles T. I need to replace my kingpins and bushings. My question is, do the kingpins need to be pressed out or in? It's not the kingpins. Was it Miles? Was that? I forgot your name already. Miles T. No, the kingpins just pull out. They just pull out. They're not under any tension. Now the bushings, that's a different story. If you're talking about the bushings inside your spindle, you know, where the kingpin goes through, there's a bushing in top and a bushing in bottom. Yes, those do have to be pressed out and pressed in. But the kingpins themselves, they just fall right out if everything is working normal. Dave at Golf Cart Garage says his belt gets tighter every day. Yep, mine too. Jeffrey has got a starter belt tensioner That's what he's talking about there. He got the patent back last week, and he's going to send me a picture of the club car starter tensioner. Cool. Excuse me just a second. Spider on my floor there, trying to come get me. Okay, let me check Facebook again. Miles Tobin says, I would encourage people to set up a phone call with Tim as he helped me tremendously in my understanding my problems with my car. Tim, your online sessions are an asset to your company. Thank you, Miles. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that where it's now on record. Did get the patent. How's that Mediterranean diet work? Oh man, I started to come out today with a piece of lettuce and an olive and eat it, you know, and I was like, excuse me while I eat my lunch, and I was going to eat this piece of lettuce and maybe take an olive or something like Mike was saying. But I actually forgot. I was supposed to do that. But no, it's not too bad. It's not really as severe as I first thought. It's really just kind of adding a bunch of fruits and vegetables to your diet. That's, you know, we don't eat enough. Hardly anybody eats enough fruits and vegetables. So far, it's my wife. I make fun of my wife all the time with, you know, about the cooking and stuff, but she really is a good cook. I hope she saw me say that. Helpless said it must not have been a wolf spider. Those guys are big and fast. Oh, I've seen them. I've seen them here. I've actually seen tarantulas here too, since I've been in Arkansas. I'm actually from Louisiana, and I don't think I ever saw a tarantula. And I've been in Arkansas for about 5 years now, and I think I've seen a tarantula almost every year that I've been here. Oh, my wife is watching, so she did hear me say that on Facebook. Let's see. Jeffrey says, "Sorry to disagree with you, but if he has problems going up inclines, I would put a heavier on the drive clutch." Well, I'm just saying you can do it either way. If you keep the rear clutch from opening up, and in other words, it stays bigger longer, it would accomplish the same thing. You know, he would have more power on inclines. You know, I've talked about the 10-speed bicycle thing with the sprockets in the front and the sprockets in the rear. That's all I would say, is that it's a tuning thing. So I mean, I agree with you. He could do that too. Helpless says he hadn't seen a tarantula. Well, look, you got them. I can promise you, you got them, because I have seen them. I have seen them. I can tell you what Arkansas has more of than East Texas, and I can tell you what it has more of than North Louisiana, because that's the two places I've spent most of my time in. And in the 5 years I've been in Arkansas, you have more rattlesnakes here. There's no doubt about it. I've seen a rattlesnake almost every year on my dirt bike. I ride my own off-road bike on all these back roads. Every year I see a rattlesnake. I'm talking big timber rattlers, big ones. Y'all got more of those in Arkansas, and you got more tarantulas. So you got more spiders and snakes, the two things that people hate in Arkansas. You got more of those than I can only compare it to North Louisiana and East Texas, because that's the two places I've spent most of my time. But both of those, all of them, I was in the woods. You know, I was in the country. So I got more deer in Arkansas, but they're smaller. You got less feral hogs in Arkansas, believe it or not. And the hogs, you know, the Razorbacks here, you know, are the hogs. So you would think that there would be more hogs here, since the name of the team is the Razorbacks, but it's not. You actually have less feral hogs than East Texas has. Larry Consley. Keith says power's back. All right, cool. Helpless says he sees copperheads. Yep. Oh, you're next to a bayou. Okay. Yeah, y'all got copperheads here too, for sure. Jeffrey says we have rattlesnake catch and release every year. Dang. Number 9. I think I did number 8, didn't I? Yeah, that was from Miles T. Number 9. This is from Dwayne. I have a 6-person 48-volt golf cart. My electrician is making an outlet at the side of my house. How many amps does the house outlet need to be? Breaker size? How much power does the charger draw from the house? If everything is working correctly how it's supposed to with your golf cart, your charger, and you have no issues with either one, then just a normal outlet, a normal household outlet will charge a golf cart. Now, it being on the outside wall, I'm sure your electrician is going to make it a GFI or something if it's on an outside wall. But yeah, just a normal size. It doesn't have to be anything special. I've been charging golf carts for 20 years on normal size outlets, even with big transformer type charges. Kurt says, I notice you keep looking down. Are you sure you killed that spider? Oh yeah, yeah, he's done for. Yeah, he's done. Facebook is good. It's cold outside, so I guess they're trying to come in here because it's warm. Let's look for another one. Number 10, last scheduled question from George. I would like to change to lithium batteries, but I have an Avita 600 amp motor controller. Would that work, or would it shut the batteries down for safety control in the battery? Have you heard of this? From George. I think I know what you're trying to say there, George. Here's what the deal is. If you'll notice, if you've ever shopped for lithium, this is one thing they don't stress enough. This kind of bothers me because I know that this can cause a problem. You can get lithium replacement battery packs for a golf cart as low as 60 amp hour, something like 60 amp hour. That's supposed to be sort of the equivalent of a range that you were getting out of your previous lead acid pack. It would be a replacement lithium pack, 60 amp hour, and it may advertise a little bit better range than what your lithium pack was. But that's the way to keep the cheapest. But that should only be used in a completely stock golf cart. That's the part they don't stress enough. Because if you tried to cheap out and get that 60 amp hour battery pack lithium and put it in something like that, and then you started pulling a trailer, or you started trying to pull a stump out of the ground or something, or whatever I'm going to be doing that day, it's going to put more of a strain on that small battery pack, and that BMS is going to take over and shut it down on you. Okay, so if you're going to have an upgraded cart with high torque motor or high speed motor in it, or taller tires and lift kits and all that, don't go for the smallest lithium pack that you can put in there to punk out on money. You need to get a higher amp hour pack, because that's going to resist the voltage drop. It's going to resist the voltage drop even more, and that's going to keep the BMS from shutting you down. So I think that's what you're trying to say, or I would bet that's what you were trying to ask there. You're thinking that controller is going to shut you down. It's not really the controller; it's your application. And is your golf cart completely stock on 18s? And all that stuff that's going to shut you down. So I would never go for the smallest amp hour lithium pack, for my golf cart to save money. That's why 105 amp hours or 100 amp hours, that's why those are so popular, because they're kind of like right in the middle. Craig says, we have brown recluse here in Illinois. Sticky traps are the trick for sure. I caught hundreds. Yep, I use sticky traps too. I'm going to have to put some out here, I guess, because that's not the first spider I've seen out here. That's just the first one that tried to kill me when I was live on the air. I'll have to put some stickies out here. 'Cause that's not the first spider I've seen out here. That's just the first one that tried to kill me when I was live on the air. I'll have to put some stickies out here. 'Cause that's not the first spider I've seen out here. That's just the first one that tried to kill me when I was live on the air. 'Cause that's not the first spider I've seen out here. What is the lift and tire height on your camo buggy? The lift is a 5-inch drop axle, 5-inch drop axle, and the tires are 20s. The tires are 20s on there. Facebook's still rolling good. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I'm going to show some pictures for the Let's See segment, and it's Nate. Nate Medlin sent me some pictures. Are you in the room, Nate? I don't remember if I've seen your name show up yet. I could have just overlooked it. Anyway, he sent me some pictures of a you know, I said something about I'd like to see, you know, some fabrication or you know, different. It doesn't have to be a golf cart. It can be some type of fabrication that you've done. Like Craig sent me something of a lift kit that he had, a trailer hitch that he had made. And well, Nate sent me how someone had fabricated the lift kit for his car. I don't know if y'all remember his car. Nate's car was that, it was that black Marathon that had the big hay bales in the back of it. And we were talking about how that's a good looking work cart, you know. That was his cart. Well, he sent me a picture of the lift kit. Let me see if I can pull it up. There it is. We're going to say, let's see some golf cart pics. I like my graphic. Here we go. Look what they did here in the rear. Okay, you know, it's now leaf spring over axle, and there's the block. So they made this block. But look at these U-bolts, and then there's the connection for the U-bolts. The top goes over the leaf spring, under the axle, and they connect these two U-bolts together. Is that crazy or what? I mean, it definitely worked. That's like a, let's see, that's a heavy-duty spring, so we're probably talking about 4 or 5 inches. Bam. You were probably talking about 4 or 5 inches there, how they did the blocks in the rear. And I'm assuming that on a Marathon you probably did the front the same way to do the lift. Yeah, that's interesting with those U-bolts. They don't look very strong to me. Okay, Big Mike says, everything I've heard about drop spindle had been bad. Is that true? Well, it's not the most heavy duty. In fact, it's the least heavy duty. It's going to be the least heavy duty out of all of them. But if you're going to ride around on asphalt, you know, that it's the same thing as what we were talking before. If you have an asphalt Princess, you know, that you're driving around on asphalt, they're perfectly fine. They work fine. But I wouldn't. That's why I like that one, because it's a drop axle. Yeah, you know, I didn't go with drop spindle. But if I was just going to be riding around in my neighborhood and have sharp rims and everything on my cart and just be a good-looking cart, then drop spindle would be fine. But if you're going to take it off-road at all, or you're going to do any kind of trail riding or any kind of work or something with it, it would probably be recommended to go with something more heavy-duty, and any of the other kind are more heavy-duty. That's the least heavy-duty kind. Jeffrey says that's what he did on his first Easy Go, 1980, that type of lift kit. LES and MILES. All right. You got to give it a sweet rake, Craig. If you had any feedback on lithium 48-volt 100 amp hour battery, would like to put a single lithium in a 2005 Club Car DS. I have not. I have not had any feedback. That's why I want to. I asked for it here. I want somebody to tell us here so we can all see it, so it'll be on record also. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook, of course, but you can follow us on these other platforms, TikTok and Instagram. I'm running those one more time. Also, if you would like to buy a hat from Golf Cart Garage, you are welcome to. There are links in the description that take you right to them. There's the hats. Bam! There's all the hats they have at Golf Cart Garage. When that supply gets lower, we may change it up and get some other ones, like some of the special ones that I had made for myself. I don't know. I'll find out, though. I know I keep saying that. I keep forgetting. If you'd like to contact us at Golf Cart Garage with some suggestions on products or for any reason whatsoever, here's the contact information. There's the phone number. There's the support. The email address is support@golfcartgarage. You can contact me directly if you want to contact me. My email address is 00timfreeman@gmail.com. That's all fish. That's all part of it. That's all part of the hat thing too. But no, not at this point. No progress. Kevin says you got to talk Big Mike to a 48-volt lithium upgrade for spring, so we get the feedback. Yep, I think everybody needs to get a 48-volt upgrade for spring, including me. Big Mike says everyone's giving me flack about the lithium starting fires. I know you said you have not heard of many issues. What's a good argument for the lithium haters? Well, I don't know what a good argument about the fires is, because it only takes one, you know, and it's gonna spread like wildfire. So it's going to be an exaggerated thing. If there's one, then everybody's going to hear about it, and they're going to be jumping all over it. I think there's always going to be lithium haters. There always is. I'm not sure what we could say to them about that. Jen, what's up, Jen? Just popped in to say hey to you and the Swaggy people. Appreciate you coming by, Jen. Craig asked about you last episode, asked where you had been. I told him that you stopped by not too long ago. Jeffrey, we have actually discussed that about the hats. Like, at what point do previous winners get to be put back in the drawing for the hats? So I'm not sure. You know, we haven't made a decision on that yet. Some sweet swag, yeah. Facebook is still rolling. We got all that done. Coupon, yeah, let me do the coupon. Go to golfcartgarage.com, and if you would like, you can put up the hat graphic when you meant to put up the coupon, or you could put up the coupon. Go to golfcartgarage.com and you can get 5% off any parts that you order by using this coupon code. This coupon code is TIM17, T-I-M-17. This one expires on January the 20th of 2024. You get 5% off any parts you order. TIM17. Also, speaking of lithium, like what we were talking about, a few episodes ago, Golf Cart Garage was running a special on our Eco Lithium battery sets, and we have extended it. So it's still in play. It's still in play right now. And it's 10% off all Eco Lithium battery sets. So you might ought to check that out. If you're considering lithium, you know, now might be the time to do it. Go check out our Eco line of batteries. Look at the 10% off. Look at the amp hour. You know, see if you think that's going to be good enough for you. Now may be the time to do it. Jeffrey says, how many fires from people filling up gas cars? You're going to always hear stories, gas and letter. Yeah, that's true. That's what I was saying, yeah. What was the date for your episode 1 event? Sir Walter. I don't know. But I know that I know where it was. I know I did it. I was in my garage over at the house, and I sat in a golf cart and had the laptop right beside me. That was episode 1. I had some regular scheduled questions. Didn't have very many. I don't even know if I had anybody show up live. I don't remember if anybody showed up for episode 1. But I've been at Golf Cart Garage since December of 20. Okay, I didn't start doing videos in December of 20, so it's going to be in 21 that the episode 1 would be, though. It'd be in 21. Recently installed a 48-volt lithium setup from Big Battery in one of our DS carts. Love it. All right, cool. Yep, I see them. They're doing a lot of advertising. Big Battery is. 1947. Yeah, very funny, Craig. A lot of golf courses use them, and they're not regularly burning down. Exactly. How many years doing weekly events? What do you mean there, Sir Walter? Another bonus about lithium, no hazardous shipping charges. Yeah, that's true. No hazardous shipping charges on lithium. I mean, they have had, oh, Dave just posted, I believe, there, Sir Walter. That might be the link to episode 1. I don't know how he did it that fast. Okay, the title of this episode was Forward and Reverse Assembly Getting Hot. That needs to be, oh, okay, he posted the link to all the lives that I have done also. So there you go. You can look at that if you're looking for a certain one. No, episode 1, I wasn't in my office. I don't think my office was finished, is why I didn't do it in episode 1. I was getting my office remodeled. I think I was in the garage, not this one, the one that's connected to the house. This is a separate building that I'm in here now. But I think episode 1, I think I was in the garage, sitting in my golf cart. I could be mistaken. It was a little while ago. Okay, yeah, we talked about the forward and reverse assembly getting hot. Yeah, if it's getting hot, that's something that needs to be addressed, that's for sure. You need to, you're going to have either a cable issue, loose cable issue, or contact issue, copper contact issue, getting hot. We talked about social medias, the hats, the coupon, the contact info. We talked about the Ecos are still 10% off at golfcartgarage.com. No coupon needed. 10% off is what you get on the Eco battery bundles now. And that's it. And this was episode 180. 180. Let me check Facebook before I get out of here. That's going to be it. All right, guys. I will see everybody on Thursday, the 11th. Thursday, the 11th. We will be back. Thursday, the 11th at 12 noon Central Time. So like and subscribe, and you'll get a notification, so you won't even have to remember that. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 12 noon Central Time. All right, I will see everybody then. The garage is now closed.